You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
I'm Rob.
I'm Carlos.
And I'm William.
That's the table.
That's the table. We're on just a minute or two late tonight because we're just finishing up our weekly now session of Betrayal Legacy. I don't know which number we're on here. It's on the back of one of these cards, but we're almost exactly halfway through the campaign, I should say. Actually, let me look at Carlos's here.
Yeah, I think we got to move William in more tighter with Rob to get him in on camera.
I'm not getting close to him.
That's fine. Then you can be our off-air talent.
Okay, we just finished the 8th out of 14, so we're actually a little over halfway done. Last week we were exactly halfway. So this is our first one into the second half, and I can say, I think I speak for the group, that we're still really enjoying it. They do a great job here of mixing up the what happens in each one, and without spoilers, there's... I don't think it's spoilery to say that
I didn't like this one.
some are cooperative, some are not so cooperative. And,
I don't think I like this one as much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this one was a little different. This one threw a new curveball at us. So.
And I won this one, but I still don't like it.
Yeah. So, but I'm enjoying it. I know Emmy, she had to run out of here right before we came on, but my daughter Emmy, who turned 16 yesterday on Wednesday, so happy birthday, Emmy. But she's really enjoying it. She's asking us every week if we're going to play, and she actually had some homework to do tonight, so she was rushing home to do her homework before tomorrow. But anyway, that's...
phone is open.
Phone is open. Okay.
Phone line's open. 813-618-7099 is the phone number.
Okay. And what is our topic du jour, Carlos? What is our topic of the day?
Oh, right behind you, Robert. What to do with expansion boxes?
There we go.
That's the question today. We're hoping to get you all an answer to help me out.
Yeah.
With what to do with all the expansion boxes that come in for these games.
Throw them away.
You got expansion boxes of all sizes. You got little ones. You got big ones. You got some expansions that are, I think, bigger
big
than
ones, little ones, fat
bigger
ones.
than the base games in some cases. So these expansion boxes get crazy. William,
We got a call coming in.
oh, cool.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, buddy, it's Patrick from Temple Terrace.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
Haven't heard from you in a little while.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're getting in some Betrayal Legacy and trying to get going on the show while figuring out what to do with all our expansion boxes.
Yeah, expansion boxes. What do you think?
Well, I do have a few opinions on that, or maybe just not opinions, but actions I've done. So the only expansion box I've kind of put to the side is probably my colonies box for my copy of Terraforming Mars.
Okay, yeah.
And then pretty much every other expansion, though, I keep in its own box because like those games just don't have room in the main box. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, some companies seem to plan ahead for that, and some don't. Some producers, sometimes I'll get games, and you'll see that there's only the contents from the base game only fill up like half of the slots or half of the box, and so in those cases, they are really banking on that game. They're really hoping on that game to be successful, so they can sell some expansions. But a lot of them don't. A lot of them, it's just one box, and then when you get the expansion, it's like, what do I do with the stuff? So I would say, as long as you have the shelf space, I'm guessing you don't have hundreds of games yet.
Nope.
Okay, so so as long as you got the shelf space to store all those boxes, I'm not against that. I'd say I would keep them. I have my 2 Calyxes at home, and I have pretty much filled those, and so I'm trying to wedge games in here and there, and so those expansion boxes for me are out the window.
For what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead, Patrick.
No, I was just going to say, I can't really think of anything that I've actually consolidated. The only reason I consolidated the Terraforming Mars is because it's kind of like the colonies is just an awkward box to put in, put in, trying to fit in the little Jenga piece that is probably a Calyx space or something of similar volume,
Yeah, absolutely.
But what about the components of the box of the box itself? Are you finding a way to get it into the Terraforming Mars original box, leaving you with an empty box, or are you literally just keeping all all the expansion components outside of the Terraforming Mars box?
No, I'm leaving it inside. I consolidated stuff in in baggies, and then since I sleeve my entire copy of Terraforming Mars is sleeved.
Whoa,
nice.
And as we were talking about earlier, well, I don't have all the expansions. I only have Prelude, and which is also consolidated in the main game box actually, and then Colonies as well. And all that is sleeved with Dragon Shield.
Whoa.
Big money here.
Oh,
man.
high end. Yeah, wow. So we know you are a fan of the Terraforming Mars, and so I mean, if that's your game and you're playing that game a lot, and you like to sleeve, I can see that.
Exactly. And then, but I have all the decks consolidated in those boxes that the mat clears come in. So it's just a good way to keep it organized inside that main box.
Okay.
For you folks at home that aren't knowing what Patrick and I both have an addiction to these right here, these matte clears by Dragon Shields. They are clear, and on one side they are matte on the other, but they come in these little tuck boxes. So you get 100 sleeves inside this tuck box for about $11, $12.
Okay.
Right, Patrick?
Yeah, about that.
They're about dime sleeves, not penny sleeves. But what's cool about this is it's got a place to write on the top.
Okay,
so
what's
once
in
you
there?
sleeve your cards, you can put them inside these tuck boxes
Back
and
in the
then
box?
use these tuck boxes to go back into your box.
Okay.
You know, it's
Your game
really,
box?
it's really hard to put tape on it and write on there.
But it's
Yeah.
It's right there on the box.
C.
Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm.
What I do is I take specifically if it's if there's cards in there from a specific expansion, I take the expansion symbol and put it on the top of the box. That way I know, I'm pulling out this specific cards for this expansion.
Makes sense.
But pretty much I always play with every card, so it's just like, is that necessary? Yeah, it is. But yeah.
Yeah, might as well keep them separated.
Do you teach with the expansions?
No, I don't. No, I always do the basic game. And granted, I haven't really taught it a lot. You know, I've mainly taught it to Lauren and Lily, and soon Daisy, probably in like 10 years.
Yeah. Pushing your luck there, homie.
What?
Pushing your luck there.
At 11?
I don't know, man. Every time we play, at the
she's
table,
4
she's
months
like,
now?
"Ooh, she's 5 months, bro."
5 months. Okay.
And Lexi's what, 3 months now?
2 months, 2.5. Yeah. So soon we'll have our gamer girl daughters playing together,
Good luck.
teaching them Terraforming Mars.
Hoping.
But speaking of gamer girl daughters, me and Lily have actually been working on like you know how Game Stats, the app, has an H index.
Yes.
We've been working on increasing our H index with the app. You know, we actually just got done playing. We played 2 games of Ticket to Ride London and 1 game. Did we play? Oh yeah, we played like 2 games of this. It's a little fun kids game called Who's Behind the Door. It's basically Guess Who with Monsters Inc. characters.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cute, you know. Well, cute kid.
My H index is at
That's a
4.
brainbuster, too.
We just learned about this H index stuff when we did the episode on how you track your games.
Yeah.
That's the first time I learned about it. My H index is at 4. Where are you at now, Patrick?
With me, and it's specifically, it's just like I set the challenge, because you could do that on Game Stats, to where it's only games that Lily and I have played together. So our H index, I think, is at 7. Here, let me pull up the app real fast. It is currently at 8, actually. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's at 7. We're working on 8.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's 7
Yeah.
games 7 times.
Yeah. That's
Each.
That's pretty good.
7 games, 7 times each.
William's shaking his head. It's hard to reach that.
I just don't.
Yeah, man,
No.
that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been playing. A lot of family games.
Well, bro,
Yeah.
achievement for the 7. H. I'm gonna ask people what their H number is because 7's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're all a bunch of small family games. You know, nothing that takes too crazy long, but you know that's what it is.
And keep it going. Keep it going.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I like your idea with the expansions. You take them out, you sleeve them, you put them in the tuck boxes that the sleeves came in
Yep.
to help you consolidate them into the big box. That's how Patrick handles his expansions.
Or you can just get the big box from Terraform Mars. It all fits in there.
Eventually, that's the eventual plan.
That's a goal. Yeah.
Life goal. All right, Patrick.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for the call, man. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank
You
you too.
Bye.
All right, that was Patrick from Temple Terrace with how he handles his expansions.
Yeah.
Got the phone line open, 813-618-7099. Anybody here want to talk about how you handle your expansion boxes?
Yeah, William.
They
what do you do?
They go to county recycling.
Yeah, that's mine too.
I mean,
You chuck them?
I actually use it to store other stuff, but once if it fits all in the main box, then the other boxes go away. There's just no point. So I mean, for resale value, if you're gonna sell everything with expansion, someone's calling.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Wayne from Tampa.
Hey, Wayne.
There we go.
How do you do your
How's it going?
expansions?
Well, it took a long time. I kept all my expansion boxes for years, because I'm like, what if I ever want to resell the game or sell the expansions? But
I did that for a while.
last year or so, I said, forget it. I'm getting rid of all expansions. I'm putting everything in the base box that I can, and I'm tossing all the boxes. And then I got this idea that as I'm tossing the boxes, I'm breaking them down to put them in the recycling bin. I'm like, I could save the tops to the boxes.
Ooh.
So I started saving all the tops to the boxes. And then I messaged you, and then I just posted in the Discord channel. The photo is I'm taking all the tops to the expansion boxes, and I'm kind of jigsaw puzzling them together to create posters of all the expansion boxes, and I'm going to frame them and put them on my wall.
Cool.
And so it's kind of cool. It's very easy. I just took a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper, and I'm gluing all the expansion box tops down. I'm going to frame it and put it on my walls to decorate the game room. And then, just putting everything I can in the base boxes that I can and get rid of this stuff. Because even if I trade the game or sell it later, if I go, hey, it's the base game with all the expansions in the box, who's not going to take that,
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm going to put it up behind you, Rob, so you can see what he's talking about from the Discord. And, Wayne, my son, and this is funny, I never even thought of doing this, but I helped my son do something like this. Yeah, I think it was middle school or early high school. He was big into shoes, tennis shoes. Like that was his big thing. So he had collected all his shoe boxes and he cut off all the lid tops, and we made a similar poster out of like all his different shoe boxes. It was pretty cool poster that we made. But I never thought about doing that as artwork for I'm going to keep my boxes now.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've definitely seen people do them individually. I've never seen anybody do like a collage like that, putting a bunch of them together and making it like wallpaper.
Yeah. Yeah, the first picture is a little blurry from the light in my game room, but the second one has a little better shot because I kind of showed you how I'm gluing it on top of the back of the poster board. I don't know. I thought about it. I'm like, I could save these and use them for something. And I've hodgepodged some of the inserts from expansions to use and cut down to use in the base game, but I just felt like, hey, I got all these walls in my game room that are not necessarily full of stuff. So let's get some artwork up there. I'm gonna go to Michael's, whatever, and buy a frame for it and frame it, and then go for there. So yeah, I've spent the last year or so kind of consolidating all my games into the expansion box. And what I found is at like Dollar General, there's this like 12-pack of small, tiny plastic boxes that are like perfect to fit like an entire set of meeples in or an entire set of chits in, that you can stack two to a row in most base game boxes that are sort of Ticket to Ride boxes.
Yep.
So I've been buying those at the dollar store and using those for my to consolidate games, and then labeling the top with permanent marker and stuff. But yeah, and to me it's like I didn't do the Calyx shelves. I've got the Besta shelves from IKEA, which is similar, but there's like you can buy doors for the front and stuff, so they're pretty similar. And I was running out of room, and I'm like, I've got I had the Battlestar Galactica game, right? I've got every expansion, and it's taken up an entire shelf. But when I consolidated it to one box, hey, now I got room for 3 more games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when space becomes a premium, so that's what. Yeah, I was just like you. I was saving them up for a while until I hit that space issue, and then once I started filling that Calyx, it was like, I can't keep these. And so when I was looking for space, I'd start grabbing those expansions, stuffing them into the main box, and And those dollar bins you were talking about from the Dollar General, I've got a whole bunch of those. You get like for $1, you get like 10 or 12 or 14 of them or something. They come with lids, and I'm definitely familiar with those. Those are big space savers.
And I'll give you some tips on what we did with my son's poster board. We used black electrical tape to frame out the edges, because I can see where your edges are frayed and kind of coming together.
Yeah.
What we did for that is we took black electrical tape and we framed out the boxes using the black electrical tape. It really gave it this nice black clean lines. So I'm looking at what you're doing, and I'm like, okay, I'm all over this. I already did one with shoes. I can do this with game boxes.
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. It's a work in progress. Like I'm gonna frame it out, and then I was gonna do something, figuring out what I could do for the lines. I was gonna use a Sharpie or something to kind of make the lines good in between the boxes. But that works. Electrical tape.
Yeah, because black electrical tape is already straight. All you got to do is line it up, and you don't have to worry about the lines being uneven. And then on a side note, you've got Battlestar Galactica up there, and I'm going to change the camera angle here. Right behind me is behind Robert's a copy of Battlestar Galactica that my buddy Barry bought from someone at a convention that I picked up for him at Escape WinterCon. I put it up on my shelf to kind of hold it for Barry to pick it up. My wife walks in the room and says, "Isn't that the dad from Selena? The movie?" And I'm like, no, it can't be.
It is.
It is. It's the dad from the Selena movie. So I learned something new this week about Battlestar Galactica. I've never watched the show, never played the game.
Okay.
But we've watched Selena a lot of times.
I've never seen Selena, so I don't know that one. I know the Battlestar Galactica half of it. But
Battlestar Galactica wasn't on Univision.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's a little different.
Great game, but it's a beast of a game that can take 3-4 hours to play sometimes, and it's but it'll fetch a good price on eBay.
Oh yeah. I got to play that one. That's one that's on my list that I got to get to.
I think Barry got a really good deal on it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. Like black electrical tape, that's a good idea. And it was good as this was like my first shot at it, because I've got a stack of probably 30 or 40 expansion boxes that I can play with for multiple posters. So like this was like, if this works, we'll see how the next one goes. So kind of live and learn,
No, that's a big tip.
That was a good idea.
I think Mr. Jeeves on the chat room said he loves your idea that you posted up there regarding creating a poster at it.
I love it. Cool.
Sweet.
Thanks for sharing, man. Any games that you've been getting into? Yeah. I know you guys had Rococo last week.
Yeah, we played a second time again this week with the same two ladies, and they loved it. We're trying different strategies, and one of them worked real better and got pretty close to winning, and the other one was did worse. So it's everyone's kind of all over the place. It's definitely a game that has multiple strategies to win, so it's pretty good. And then recently been trying out an old school one and playing Istanbul.
Okay, nice.
Game that I missed that one. I haven't played that one before, and just started playing it. I'm like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool.
You had a convention last weekend too, right?
Yeah, Necronomicon was good. It was small. It was definitely way smaller than previous years. Pandemic and all, but it was good. We got some good gaming in. A lot of kind of party-ish games. People just hanging out, playing some old school Cash and Guns and.
That's what the conventions are for.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. It was good to get back into the swing of things, see some people, get back into it. So it's good. Looking forward to it. I can't wait. My brother, I haven't seen my brother in a year and a half, almost 2 years now.
Wow.
And he's going to be coming down mid this month. And I'm already planning on setting up. We're going to play some Axis and Allies D-Day.
Nice.
First night he's in town. So it's a good one. It's one that him and I love to play together. So I'm looking forward to that. So
don't forget October 9th, we're going to be at Armada. So if you get open on a Saturday and got some time to kill, we'll be at Armada for our second Saturday game day.
They're in Tampa.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't have anything that day so far, so I should be able to head down.
Pencil it in. We'll see you. So we'll meet you in person for the first time.
Cool, man.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Wayne.
Awesome.
Thanks for the idea. They love it.
Have a good one.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
All right, have a good one. See you.
That was Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne of Tampa.
A regular.
Yeah, and we still haven't met yet, but hoping to meet him soon in person. He's got a lot of good content that he contributes. Phone line's open, 813-618-7099. If you have other ideas on what to do with your game boxes, your expansion boxes, and even the contents that come in them, that'd be great. keep changing the camera to the wrong
there
spot.
You go.
There we go.
Camera
That's us.
angles, cameras. Yeah, so I was going to mention art. Again, I mentioned I was saving a lot of my boxes until space became a premium. But some of these boxes, some of these expansions, are little works of art. And so there are a couple that I have kept, just empty boxes that I've set at the top of my Calyxes. I've got some games stacked up there. But I've got a couple that I just use as showpieces. One that jumps to mind is I've got a Wingspan, one of the, I think it's the European expansion. I've got that just sitting. You got them all up there. Yeah.
Well, he has to. He hasn't opened them up yet.
Yeah.
I play other people's copies.
Yeah. Yep. So I've got that one just sitting. I know that one's sitting at the top, and I've got one or two actually Chronicles of Crime. One of the expansions for that. I've got that box just sitting up there. I think it's the Noir one, the L.A. Gumshoe one. I thought that box looked kind of cool, so I kept that one. And I've got a couple of others, but I can't remember what they all are at the moment. But so some of them I do keep a few, but again, it's once space becomes a premium. Once I start running out of space, those are probably one of the first things that are going to go. Is just those empty boxes.
William, what were your expansion boxes at?
He said the
Some
garbage.
landfill, I think.
Yeah, he said the garbage, right?
But
Landfill.
so you're consolidating all the components of the expansion into the game, and then you're tossing
There's
the box.
only one game I haven't. There's only like one or two games I've done. That's usually ones that have like a lot of stuff, and you need the expansion box to hold just the expansions.
Yeah, that happens.
Nemesis is like that.
Okay.
So, but some of these other ones that come out, they literally print the expansion box sometimes the same size as the base game box. I don't know, maybe to put away. A good example would be Lords of Waterdeep. So Lords of Waterdeep, I have the broken token insert. I put the broken token insert, and I actually use the bottom base of the original game and the top of
The new one?
yes.
It fits?
Yes, it fits like
Interesting.
that.
That's kind of cool.
I feel like I'm mine sitting down there, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and when you say that reminds me of Orleans is one for me. Orleans, I have the main box, and I've got most of the stuff stuffed in that box, but I've got some upgraded components and things, and so I can't close that box all the way. But then they have, I think it's 3 expansions that came out for it, and one of the 3 expansions had a ton of stuff, and that box is almost identical to the same size as the base box, and so I kept that one, and I stuffed all 3 of the expansions into that box. So I do have 2 boxes on my shelf for Orleans, and they're almost the same exact size. But yeah.
See, my problem is I don't tend to play with the expansions. A lot of my gaming is done.
Personal problem, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you just stick to the base. You play
Because
it once
I
and then
tend to
put it
be
away.
teaching others
Yeah.
the game for the most part. I'm always introducing folks to games, so the expansions are never really sticking around. They need to be separate.
Yeah.
Except for a couple exceptions would be games like Champions of Midgard.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I will not play the game without the expansions.
Yeah.
I mean the one that you haven't put that insert together yet,
It's everything.
Yeah, still
I
sitting
got
over there
everything
somewhere.
which can all
jumbled
fit
in.
inside.
Not really though, because it's all.
scraped together. And,
Yeah, that box is getting kind of beat up a little bit.
yeah.
But I do have. I did toss that expansion box because that's a game that I wouldn't play without the expansions.
Yeah.
But I can't say that for many other games. Empires of the North, the expansions really are just card decks. So I literally just threw out the insert. So
Yeah.
like talking about Lords of Waterdeep, that's a horrible insert.
Yeah, it is.
It's a horrible insert. So like for me, tossing the insert on that and just replacing everything with baggies makes sense.
Yeah.
That would probably be the basic of the discussions. You throw out the insert. Some people don't. Some people keep the insert and they just work their magic around it.
I don't know how. Like
Yeah.
I've tried that.
Depends on the insert.
Or
but yeah.
or people keep the insert and they keep the expansion box because of that. They don't want to throw away the insert. I've seen people who just do that.
Yeah, because if you get rid of the insert, you can make a lot more
Oh,
room
yeah.
in there.
A lot of these games,
Prime
yeah.
example,
Mm.
Descent.
Mm.
Descent has that weird insert where it's got that cardboard channel in the center, and you
Yeah.
can put the stuff on the others underneath it on the 2 sides. I looked at that thing and I just like, nope.
I know FFG's got a problem with that. They got a lot of games where they do that cardboard 2 walls on the side and then just that little channel down the middle that you're trying to
Right.
stuff everything into. Yeah.
I mean, it works when they package it, but once you take everything out and punch everything out, it doesn't work that way.
I just don't think that's meant for storing game components. I think that's just like a shipping thing.
Oh, really?
Mr. Jeeves says that he used a couple of small expansion boxes to store things like extra baggies, sleeves and components to games.
Okay.
That he's upgraded components for. That's a good idea, Robert,
So
for the ones on your shelf.
See, I've got those just stuffed in a bag down hidden somewhere. But yeah, it would be a bad idea to put them in a.
I have a plastic bin just for baggies. I might as well use an empty expansion box if the artwork's pretty.
Taking up the same space either way. So yeah, might as well use a nice looking box. That's a good idea.
If it's that hard, durable cardboard, not like that thin stuff. Like if it's a GMT box.
No, it'll last forever.
It'll last forever.
I'm planning to put my ashes in a GMT box when I'm gone.
Instead of an urn or a vase.
It's in my will and testament.
Yeah, it's got to be that way.
Cremate me and then put my ashes in a GMT box.
I got you. I'm going to take care of that.
After you take all my games, Robert?
Oh, yeah, I get the games first. If you don't leave me the games, then screw that.
I honestly think this won't be an issue a few years out from here.
The expansions?
This what we're talking about.
Oh, with
the boxes?
Because a lot of the like I went to Gen Con, a lot of stuff that was coming out expansions, everything else was as minimal as it could be.
Well, that's the whole shipping thing now. I think,
exactly. Yeah. I actually spoke to a designer of the games. You guys were talking about that. Yeah. It like he said, it's like, oh, it usually costs like $7,000. Like it was like $3,000 to $7,000 a container.
Yep.
Now it's up like 20,000.
It's like 20. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it costs like 25,000. So now whenever we do anything, we just.
Yeah,
it's like they literally every designer goes straight back to the drawing board, and they said, "All right, can we get rid of the insert? Let's get rid of the insert. What can we put in this box? Let's just put some more stuff in here that we need to, and get." They go back and redesign the entire game.
That totally makes sense, though.
Everybody's having to do that now.
That's all energy, resources, fuel that's spent on a box. That what are we doing with? Wayne's over there. Just chopping it up into a poster.
Yeah, right. just wasted stuff or reusing. But that reminds me of Jimmy Stegmeyer from Stonemeyer Games was talking about the Wingspan, their nesting box. They're calling it their big box that's going to hold everything.
Yes.
And I mentioned on a previous show that he talked to one of his live chats online. This is probably a month or two ago about how they're thinking about sending that box out with the option of packing in the next expansion that's coming for Wingspan. And so it kind of allows them to, that shipping container thing, if they can stuff a bunch of boxes with that expansion, sell it as a bundle package, give people a little discount on the price, and get that out there. That helps take care of a shipping issue, and it helps take care of how to get that expansion, and that if the people out there who want all the content, I want that nesting box, they want all the expansions.
Yeah, that can all be packed overseas.
Yep.
Put into a container at the same size
exactly.
that the empty box would have been.
Yep.
It only makes sense because the container is going to cost what it's going to cost.
Yep.
That's about volume, not so much about weight.
Right.
It's not air freight. Air freight's all about weight.
No, it's per container.
Right.
Yeah.
So
if you put one box in there in the whole container,
one empty box, right? You might as well sell that box filled with game.
Yep.
And
well, if they do it that way, they can, because those containers get shipped not always full. So you can make it to where people are going to buy more of your product, and you can fill that whole container. Yeah, you're going to eventually come up on top in price.
Yeah, but you really can't. And one thing with this expansion box, I know there's the debate itself. Do you spend money on a box? And based on William's purchase of, the Terraforming Mars big box, and then my purchase of the size big box, my answer is yes. Like, to me, buying a box makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's stored everything. It's like, oh, look, I had this tower of boxes, or I had just one box, and it had like little cardboard containers holding cards. Like, now just one box.
Yeah, one nice sturdy box that can hold everything. And you really can't plan ahead as a game designer because you really don't know if your game's going to hit off.
Yep.
Right, to say, okay, this side will have 7 expansions.
A little presumptuous, to give a box that's going to hold everything right off the bat. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Simon does it all the time. Hey, we got a game coming out, and if you kickstart it, you can unlock all the expansions right now.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So they got all the different expansions,
and it all fits in the same box.
No.
Good luck.
You get a coffin delivered to your house full of boxes,
expansion boxes. Yeah.
And that's like my zombie side. I was going to mention that will never be consolidated. Like, those expansion boxes are a must because of all the content that comes in them, all the minis, the cards. Well, that'll never fit into the original box.
They all have inserts.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually work.
And now, their inserts actually work now. Very nice.
Yep.
So those expansions won't go in. But all my other expansions, I really don't consolidate them because I don't intend to use them often, which is probably why I stopped buying expansions.
Yeah.
No, you just don't play them.
Because I don't get them played.
Don't play them. Yeah.
You just don't play them.
That's a thing. Want to hit people up with those numbers again, those digits?
813-618-7099 is the number. We're talking about whatever you want to talk about, but we're talking about board game expansion boxes. What do we do with the expansions? And how you want to store your stuff, if any. Also, call in, tell us what you've been up to gaming-wise. What new games have you gotten into? What purchases have you made? Any gaming news? That's always a topic that we're looking for. This last week, I was able to purchase and play the new Marvel X-Men game, Robert.
I saw that, yeah.
So
okay.
we got that to the table. Marvel United X-Men.
Yeah.
I will say it didn't, so far, it hasn't changed anything other than it's just a different flavor.
Okay, so no new rules, no new mechanics?
There are new mechanics. There are new rules.
Okay.
There's a 1v1. There's a co-op. Well, it's co-op to begin with. But there's also one where the co-op versus a person that plays the hero or the supervillain.
So one versus many?
Yeah, one versus many. But it's X-Men, which is a better flavor for me. I didn't grow up on the Marvel cinematic stuff. My kids grew up under that. I grew up more under the X-Men cartoon, the animated series.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's what the new Simon version feels like.
I just read more of the comics and the cartoons.
Wayne says, yeah, the FFG channel goes away real quick. Yes.
Yeah, you get rid of that thing like
that's garbage.
Immediately. I think my first experience on that was the Lord of the Rings LCG deck builder, or not deck building game, but that card game. That was my first game, I think, that I experienced the channel. And yeah, that thing goes, as soon as you buy some more cards or whatever, that gets tossed. Yeah.
But that's been standard for all their games. They've always had that. It's got kind of that black and white art on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that gets tossed.
Yep, gone.
Any purchases for you, Rob, this week or lately?
No, I don't think so. I haven't picked up anything recently.
Yeah, convention-wise, we were busy spending money there.
Yeah, we were busy running around hotels and airfare, and yep.
I bought too much stuff at Gen Con. The stuff that could fit in the plane.
Well, I saw y'all played Aquatica before I got here tonight. What's your quick opinions on Aquatica?
Hit me with your list, William, because you haven't been staying for the podcast, so the folks aren't really hearing from you.
Yeah.
Right. So Mike, myself, and Robert are staying till 1, 2 in the morning going through the podcast, which our last one released last Sunday, folks. Make sure to check it out.
Yeah, make sure to look at it.
We talk about the gaming that we did at conventions, but William has to work at like 5 in the morning, so he can't hang out with us.
I am not hanging, no. I picked up, before it's released, I don't think it's released yet, Camel's Up off-season.
Yep, Camel Up. Yeah.
Camel's Up off-season, which is basically just, what do you do with the racing camels when they're not racing? And it's a bidding, auction, kind of a resource, not really resource, I guess, high risk, high reward kind of deal for your camels. Got that. I picked up Sideshow Swap, which me and Carlos play, quick little trick taking game. I bought Blitzkrieg, and I bought Caesar, which will not come out until November, which
I want that.
They're going to drop ship it to my house free, tax free, and no shipping because I bought it at Gen Con. And then I bought Furnace, which has been.
We got to play that one last week.
That's a big hit.
Yeah, so
that was a really highly played game over there at Gen Con. The only one I wish I played and wasn't sure if I was going to get was Loop.
Oh yeah, Loop.
Not familiar with it.
Pandasaurus game. But it sold so quickly.
Time travel.
Co-op kind of deal.
Yeah, co-op game.
It has a little cool mechanic with the cubes. You drop a little tower, things like that. But other than that, no.
Well, there's the Loop there on the BGG.
Yep, Aquatica was one that William had before he left,
and that sold.
Didn't you pick up the expansion while you were there?
No, I already bought I bought the expansion in the game before I left. But they had sold out, and when I got there, Arcane Wonders is there, and they sold almost all their copies. It's a very hot. It was a hot game. Arcade Wonders did really well at Gen Con, I think. They sold almost all their copies of Furnace, almost all the copies of Aquatica with maybe not with expansion, but Onitama. They sold quite a bit of that still.
That's good.
So I was, they were still selling.
Did they have the new expansion over there with the hidden board?
No.
Huh. That's surprising.
No, maybe I didn't see it because it gets kind of busy over there. Let's see. Quite a few businesses were there. Who else sold out all their stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, my first play of Aquatica was today. The first time I really heard about it was about a month ago at Armada. Play a gamer by the name of Tom was out there. He tends to be there for the Monday night board game night, hosting a lot of games and inviting people to play. But he told me the week before that I was there that William had taught him Aquatica and how much fun he had with it. And it just wasn't a game that I was interested in the way it looked. I really didn't hear too much about it, but after Tom excitedly explained to me the game, I told William when he gets back, I wanted to play it. He taught it to me tonight. I can totally see why this game was so much fun.
Yeah.
It is combo. It's the combo goodiness that I like.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be up your alley. Yeah.
Well, it's also true to the nature that the time.
Yeah, the time frame written on the box is not a lie.
It's not. It's 100% true.
Yeah, most games will tell you, an hour when it takes an hour and a half.
They said 60 minutes, yeah.
With teach and setup on a 2-player game, we were done within 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably could get that down to maybe like 35 minutes after you play it now.
Well, I kind of wanted to end it at the right time when I felt I had it,
Right.
all in the right place, because you have control of when you trigger the end. And I was like, okay, I think I'm in a good spot. This is when I want to end it. So I put my last mana ray down. I think that's what ended up triggering the end game. I placed my last mana ray, triggering the end game, and then again I did win. I think it was like 70-something to 60-something, so it wasn't too far of a spread. But I think William felt he was behind the whole game.
Yeah, I was. So
you started catching up at the end. You had this awesome turn, an action just before I ended it, where you took, I can't remember how many combo actions.
I scored 3 cards, almost 4 cards. If I would have scored the 4th card, I probably would have tied or won. But yeah.
In Aquatica, what you're doing is you've got a hand of cards that represent your actions, and these are all the actions you're going to take. Similar to Century Spice Road, you're going to play cards in the order you decide, doing things. Each time you play a card, it's an action, then another player plays a card, and at a certain point, you're going to run low on cards, so you have less options of what to do. And at that point, you're going to play a card that resets all your cards, gets them back into your hands, so that you can rebuild your hand and reset your little engine up and go again. And what you're doing when you play cards are things like buying, recruiting, what they call them?
An agent?
Agents, recruiting agents that give you, this adds to your hand. An agent directly adds a card to your hand, so now you have other actions that you can do on your turn. So that's how you get more actions available to you. The other option is you can buy or conquer locations. So these locations that are on the board. Now, the locations that are available will change based on an action called Scout, which lets you scout new locations and save some locations that were already on the board for later and reduce their price. So what you're doing, you're playing your cards to do these actions such that you can meet these end game goals for victory points that include things like have 8 agents in your hand at one time. And at that point, you can spend one of your mana rays to place your mana ray on that scoring section of the board at the top left and score victory points. The first one to go there is going to get more points than any other player, and they go down in succession. The thing is that little mana ray that you're placing, Rob, is a bonus.
Has a bonus on it, yeah.
It has a bonus on it that you can flip each turn, and you reset them whenever you take all your cards back. You can reset them.
Nice.
So that is that's the general gist of how you're playing the game. You're playing actions till you run out or decide to reset them. You're doing that to buy cards. You're doing things that reduce the cost of cards, or you conquer cards. But the cool mechanism, like what makes this different, is when you buy a location, you slide it into this double layer board.
Slide,
Yeah, I took pictures of it because I'm going to show it up on Instagram tomorrow because I had no idea this existed.
Yeah.
It's a spot where these rectangular cards, kind of thinner cards, slide into, and they reveal at the top of the card on the left side in order different bonuses that you can trigger anytime during your turn. Things like add 2 to your buy power, add 3 to your conquer, slide a card up. Now these cards, you have to use all their bonuses in order to then later score them and bank them.
Yeah.
So you put them in these 5 slots that you have in front of you, but you have to use them to get to the place where you can spend them. Once they're spent, you then treasure them into your treasure chest, and that's how you score the victory points on it.
Yeah.
That's the main cool new thing about Aquatica that's really fun. I felt like a DJ
Slide up.
I had all these different sliders in front of me, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to slide that one, and that's going to let me slide another card 2 spots, which then shows me the recall an agent. So I'm going to recall that agent from the deck, and then I'm going to play that agent that's going to let me slide up 2 more, which now opens up those spots to treasure chest. Those 2, it's good stuff.
Yeah, good slidey goodness.
Yeah, slidey goodness.
Yeah. I know that's a big thing everybody likes about that game. Everybody talks about the tucking the cards and sliding them up and revealing those different actions and getting the bonuses and the little mana rays. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, the mana rays are plastic pieces.
Yeah.
So it kind of actually have some substance to them.
The big question is like, is this the deluxe version? Like, no, it's retail. They only have a retail version. There's nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
So that was Aquatica that William brought, one of his recent purchases.
Yeah, that one in Furnace was probably my best purchases when I was at the con.
I don't disagree. And they're both Arcane Wonders?
Yep. They did a really good job. I mean, I could have probably bought like 5 more games, but then I was just like, you know what? They'll eventually come out, and I'll just pick them up. It would have cost me like double, maybe triple the price just to get them shipped. So I was like, nah, I'm okay. So when the company does Blitzkrieg, when they say, oh, no, we'll ship it to you directly to your house when it gets released, I'm like, okay. Done. And it was $10 cheaper. So I had to get Caesar. So when that comes out, I'll definitely play that. But yeah, those are my only acquisitions. I got a lot of free kind of like little stuff, little rulers, little pins and stuff like that. But other than that, that was it. Rob got his horns.
Got my horns. Got a little horny.
So from the Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, from those people down there. So, yeah, I could have walked away with more free stuff, but there's just too much to explore, not enough time. It's literally city blocks of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to see there from what I hear.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, that was all my acquisitions. I don't think I want to spend any more money because that trip cost quite a bit.
I played Imperial Settlers Empires of the North using the solo rules this week.
Oh, really?
I know Robert and I have been talking about getting some gaming in with Imperial Settlers on video. Want to reacclimate myself with the rules. And so I played the solo version. It's only 4 rounds, Rob. You only get to play 4 rounds.
Solo?
You got a whole lot of time. You got to combo some stuff up.
And that was my worry as I started playing the game because you have to get each scenario. They give you scenarios. Each scenario has a victory point number. You have to meet this many points in order to be considered a win. You play for 4 rounds, and here I was like in round 2 thinking, there's no way I'm going to win this. Like I was at 4 victory points, and it needed 30 to be considered a win. So it made you really focus down on just the cards that give you points.
Yeah, imagine.
And instead of triggering actions or features for other resources or things like that, you're using them for just their points to really just like focus in on point generation. I surprised myself because I ended up, let me see here, at the end of round 4, Rob, I was at 32 points on a 30-point game.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been at 32 points when we've played for like 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That was I think that was a pretty solid score. I like how that did in the sense of almost like what I did with Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars. When you play it solo, it really focuses you on the terraforming aspect. So you're learning the game on how to be efficient. I think the solo version of Empires of the North really helped me become more efficient on how to gain points, not build a tableau, not build a big city, not build a great engine.
Yeah, just
get points in 4 rounds.
Yeah, do what you got to do just to get those victory points.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's something I played this week.
I was just checking my list. I think the only thing I played in the last week was our Gloomhaven session. We thought was going to be our last play, but for Forgotten Circles for the expansion. But we got our butts handed to us, so we're going to give that one another shot. And actually, we remembered that we could go back and there was a couple little side scenarios that we could play that potentially would make the last scenario a little bit easier. And so we're going to do that. We're going to try to go hit those 2 side scenarios first, maybe level up a character if we can do that, and then give that last one a shot again. But yeah, we got pretty handily destroyed in that last session there. Of
what makes it the last session? Like, how do you know this is the last?
There's
session?
a big bad. There's a guy that you're.
It's called a big bad.
Yeah, the big bad. You're trying to track down a thing. Actually, not really a guy, but a thing that you're trying to find, and you kind of get hints of him early on, and then it becomes more concrete as you go. But yeah, this is it. This is the big battle.
And you know this? Or is there like a twist that can come?
I don't know. Nick Oben in our group has a bad habit of reading ahead, and he told us that this was it. So we're banking on his word for it. So
that'd be
yeah, it's a little spoilery for me. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that.
I know. Because he likes to plan. He's like, okay.
Yeah, he's got to plan ahead.
He's got to know what's coming.
Has he played Legacy games?
I think
he
played
there's
Fenris with us.
No, he's not playing it correctly then if he's reading ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't do that because it wasn't his game. It was Carlos's game that we were playing, so he didn't have access to it. So, yeah.
Well, congrats, man. I can't believe y'all done that. I just really can't.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hours. I don't know. We haven't tracked. Nick at some point started tracking our plays, and he knows we're at, I forget how many hours, 80 plus, but we know we were at it way before that. So we're well over probably 120, 130 hours now. So
how much?
What's next, right?
How much is the game?
How much does the game cost?
Yeah,
it's $100, right?
Game, yeah,
so,
base game of Gloomhaven.
Less than $1 an hour.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there you go.
It's a heck of a deal if you play
You're
through
at
it,
pennies now, aren't you?
Yeah, pennies on the hour, on the hour, play hour, something like that. I mean, it's obviously a great deal if you put that into going to see movies or doing other types of entertainment. I mean, that one game alone.
It's $100 a game times how many players? 5.
It plays up to 4.
No, how much are you
technically?
We're
playing 3.
So 3. So
yeah.
So you get 80 hours between the 3 of y'all.
Yeah.
That's that price point makes it so worth it.
Yeah. Yep. And then waiting on Frosthaven to come next. And then you asked what's next after that. Nick actually mentioned that he wanted to start, and we've talked about this, the Sleeping Gods campaign. So he mentioned that that he was looking to do that. And I mentioned you again. I said, yeah, Carlos was wanting to play. I was like, oh, yeah. He said, Carlos is definitely part of that. Me, you, and Carlos. And I said, okay.
Yeah. That's something we can definitely do.
Yeah, we can jump into that next. So
what is that?
Sleeping Gods, it's
Ryan Lockett.
It's similar to the Forgotten Waters game, where there's a book. So you flip in a book and it shows you the land and the board. It is your board, almost like the Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion.
Like Jaws of the Lion, yeah.
Oh, okay, something like that.
It's a spiral bound. Yeah, I mean, there's more to it. There's some reading and some of the things. I'll pull it up here. But there's a book that you're playing through. The idea on this one.
Oh, because I'm gonna get the Vanguard one. Or is it?
Oh yeah. Vanguard is that the space-based kind of thing like that. Yep. But Sleeping Gods is the idea behind it is your play sessions. I think they advertised it was kind of their funny hook was that play sessions can go from 60 seconds to 60 hours or something. It's because you technically can lose. You have a set of characters, and technically you could kill them all in the first minute of the game or something. But you play. I guess they advertise it's about an average of 10 to 12 hours per run through the game. And as you're running through the game, you're going and it's completely open world. You can take a boat and sail and go off different directions. You can go to explore land. You can do all different kinds of things. And the idea is that you're having all these little adventures, but you're trying to find idols. And in the whole game, there's something like 100 idols. But in a 10 to 12 hour play through of it, a run, I guess they would maybe call it a run through the game, you're only going to find about 6 or 7 of the idols. And so you can play a full experience, but then if you want to, it reminds me kind of like a video games. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed. I used to play through all the Assassin's Creed games, and they had those hidden things that you're finding, the feathers or whatever. And there's 100 of them in the world, and just by playing through the main story, you'll probably find 30 or 40 of them. But then you can replay it, and you can go on all these little side quests and all these optional things. And so that's the idea: is that you play a 10 to 12 hour session. You're going to find 6 or 7 of the idols. You're going to cross them off in the book, and then you can reset and play it again, start from the beginning again, but go in a different direction and make different decisions, and then you might find 6 or 7 more idols. So now you've found 14 out of the 100, and you can keep playing it over and over and over again, keep going through these play sessions if you're into that. If you want to, if you just want to play it once and run through it 10 to 12 hours and find as many idols as you can, but you can do it over and over to try to find, 50%, 70%, 80%, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's not Carlos.
Yeah. So, that was the thing. I mentioned to Nick when he said that. I said, Carlos does have a little bit of an issue with finishing legacy games, or not. This one's not legacy, but
it's a campaign.
Finishing campaign games. And he's like, oh yeah. He said, but we can just do a 10 to 12 hour run through with Carlos, and then if we find 6 or 7 of the idols, then we could go from there, and then we can kind of reset and see who wants to keep going or whatever. So that's the nice thing is you can break it into smaller sessions and still have a 10 to 12 hour experience, and you're not going to do that obviously in one sitting for most people. That'll be over.
That's a TI4 game.
Yeah, something like that. So,
See, I'm your Huckleberry when it comes to just kind of smashing in there, finding stuff.
Yeah,
kicking the door down, maybe losing a bit.
Yeah,
but I'll help you figure out like where not to go.
What not to do? Don't kick that door.
So when you do the actual run through of where you're trying to win.
Yeah.
Then well, Carlos did that. That didn't work out. So let's do something different.
That's funny. Yeah.
Now, I like the idea of the book being the board. I found that it wasn't a huge fan of Gloomhaven. But when we played Jaws of the Lion, I was a big fan. And I think part of it had to do with the ease of setup, the ease of play.
Yeah.
As much as I like the hidden dungeon, right, the idea of a dungeon where you're having to explore to find it and you don't know what rooms are next. That just adds a lot of tediousness, a lot of time, right? Because and then a lot of not sure, what would have been, right? So when you see the map laid out in front of you, you see the whole layout of the room, and you think, okay, we can hit these areas up and ignore these.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
You know what you missed, but if it's hidden, right, where everything's shadowed and you only add it when you explore it. To me, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe that should have been the doorway that would have got us the win.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit of that in this. I mean, there's some, if you go one path, there's 3 other paths you didn't do, and so you won't know what's there, but until you get into it. But yeah. So this will be one on our list. I guess once we finish up our Gloomhaven, we can set up some sessions of this. And I know that
I think we need to set up a day.
Yeah, just one day to experience it.
Start early morning.
Yeah.
With breakfast, some Mickey D's,
do that.
and just grind through that Sunday or that Saturday.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
That'll be the next one. But I want to do that with Descent, the new Descent.
Yeah, we need to do that. Yeah, we got to get a group together and try that out.
But I want to do it with an online component.
There was a lot of people. There was a couple people who bought the game there, and then I was funny. It's like, I see them buy it. I go do a demo. I come back, and they're still putting stuff together.
Oh yeah.
I go somewhere else. I come back. And they're still putting stuff together. Third time around, they finally started playing.
Yeah, that's a big part of that game is you got to spend a few hours on building that terrain, doing that initial setup, punching everything out. Yeah, I've heard that's a task.
Wayne's asking if we saw a prototype of the big box expansion while we were there. No, we did not. He did not have any prototypes of the big box expansion. Really, all it was just prototypes of other people's games.
Yeah. Yep. For Wingspan?
Wingspan. And there's some chat going on in the chat room there talking about the Wingspan big box expansion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're still on topic. They're still talking about expansion boxes.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
We're over here doing our own thing.
We've gone sideways, but yeah.
But when it comes to the Descent expansion, what I really want to do, Rob, my idea for it is on Thursday nights.
The new Descent, yeah.
Right. So after we do the live call-in show,
start that.
We can do a Descent game, but do it in a way where we have a rotating chair.
I know you mentioned something virtual. Is that where you're getting at?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can have 1 or 2 folks join us virtually after the show.
Yeah.
To play the game. So that way maybe you can get a flavor for it. You can jump into our campaign, Rob and I's campaign of the Descent game, and then play with us virtually. Right, where we give you the we got the cameras everywhere. We got the upsy downsy cameras and the leftsy rightsy cameras.
I got a couple.
It's like Ryan Lockett, upsy downsy, leftsy rightsy, near and farsy, all those different things.
Got a hand in there for Will. William.
Not even there now.
Yeah, and just a hand.
He's a hand puppet. But my idea is that if we play the game, we can invite folks to join us, and that way they can get a taste of it. Because maybe a lot of folks won't have a group.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe they want to experience it to see is it something that's for them. They can pop into one of our adventures, and test it out and play it.
So you do know that Descent game, you don't always play the same characters.
No,
that don't make no sense.
I wasn't sure about that.
The app will tell you which characters you can play on this campaign based on the story, and some will be absent
for each of the games.
Right.
They've already got multiple campaigns.
No, it's just part of the story.
Meant the campaign. He meant the each game of the campaign.
Each game of the campaign. Each session as you go through it.
I like that even better though. Like that hits on my ADD notes like a champ.
Try something different every time.
Yes, because that's part of my ADD issue. Is we're just rinse,
you get
repeat.
bored with that. Yeah, you've done that before.
Lather, rinse, repeat, doing the same thing over and over again with the same characters. Yeah, okay, I got to add some special card that makes them a little more efficient, but it's lather, rinse, repeat, same thing. If they make me change my characters on adventures, I'm happy to do that.
No,
that's right up my alley.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, Rob knows I can't finish stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is probably the most that I've ever done consecutively is this show.
You gonna finish that beer?
I'm nursing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, funny. Yeah, what are the people saying in the chat there?
No, they're talking about the big box expansion, but we're at the end. We got like 3 minutes left, so if you want to finish this off with your last phone call, is 813-618-7099 is the number. Must be a lot of stuff going on this week. Or that, or people just coming down from the convention high and taking a rest day.
Yeah, maybe.
One of the things I just seen that Venom came out tonight too.
Oh, the Venom movie. Yeah, I think
yeah.
Diego posted that he's seeing Venom tonight.
Maybe some people out doing that. Yeah. I guess that's a thing for Thursday nights. Yeah.
I know Christian. My son Christian wants me to take him tomorrow to go see it.
Oh yeah.
But I got my Blood Bowl match tomorrow. Speaking of that, I haven't updated y'all folks on my Blood Bowl stuff. I didn't even talk about it on the podcast.
Now we're gonna
go ahead.
Now we're going to bed.
Go
Let's
ahead.
Go.
Yeah.
Time to go to sleep.
All right. So
Blood Bowl.
my videos are posting up.
Okay.
I've got 2 videos up so far from this league. It's the Armada League. It's a 10-week league. I'm playing Dwarves this season. We're on I just finished game 4, and I am 4 and 0.
0-4 and 4-0 are different things. Yeah.
English is not my first language.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Trademark Beans and Dice.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm undefeated, Rob.
Yeah, awesome. I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I never thought that would happen. Like I've sucked so bad at Blood Bowl. This last, I think 2019 was when I got it.
Yeah.
First got into it 2019.
Sounds about right.
I have sucked horrible.
Yeah. Online,
in person, sevens, in tournaments, in league. It didn't matter.
So what are you doing different?
So I'm playing my Dwarves, and I'm really focused on just keeping my team together.
Okay.
It's like the Dungeons & Dragons. Never split the party.
Yeah.
I always fell for these traps where there would be some juicy morsel of a block over here, maybe downfield or something, or they would put they'd take a runner or a catcher and run them past me, right? So then I feel like I want to go defend them.
Can't not do it. Yeah.
With like a safety.
Mm-hmm.
But I have Dwarves. We have short legs. We can't run fast.
Not quick.
We need to work together. So what I do now is I take all my guys and I just pick one target and then I pound them to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We block them down, and we start fouling. We just start curb stomping.
Okay. That's a thing, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
The problem is, though, if he fails, ooh, it's bad.
Well, there was one game against Rob Hunter, week 1. It took 8 fouls to finally get his Minotaur off the board.
Wow.
I lost 5 players due to ejections.
Wow.
Because the referee ejected 5 of my players. They got caught fouling.
Okay.
I, the manager, got ejected. So my coach, me, was ejected. So I could no longer argue any calls.
Okay.
So once I had my coach ejected. But his Minotaur finally got knocked off the pitch. Right, his Minotaur had horns and mighty blow and block. I mean, this thing was a beast. It was, if it hits you, you're like dead.
Done. Yeah.
I needed him on the ground and gone. I hit him so hard, Rob, I cracked his skull.
Nice.
This is week 1 of the league. Week 1.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
For the rest of the season, that Minotaur lost armor value. So he went from an 8 armor.
Which is hard to get it.
I'm sorry, it was a 9 armor down to an 8 armor.
Okay.
For the rest of the season. So on 2 dice, you need to roll an 8 or higher to take him out.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a bunch of a difference, but
It's
a 9 to an 8 significant.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, on 2 dice, you average 7.5. 7.5 is 8.
Okay.
Right. So if any craps players out there, you know that if you're rolling 2 dice, each die represents about a 3.5 value on a d6. So you're looking at
not of me and Rob roll.
Yeah, I'm a little lower than that, but yeah, go ahead.
So you're getting about 7.5 on average, right? On every 2 die roll. Whenever you do an armor check, you're doing 2 dice. So now what went from a 9 now is an 8. That means that guy's going down more often. It only took me 2 blocks and a couple fouls to get him off the pitch when I replayed our rematch this past week on Rob.
Okay.
So I sent him to the casualty box again.
You did your work up front, and then you are reaping the benefits now.
Well, the problem is poor Rob's 0-4.
Oh, yeah. Well, you did that. You're responsible for that.
Oh, I'm feeling a little bad about that because that first week I think I really hurt him.
Oh, yeah.
And then this week I I broke the neck of another player he has, so he lost agility.
Oh, nice.
So he went from a 3 agility to a 4 agility. So now he has a harder time picking up the ball. He's got a broken neck.
You did that
with a foul.
Yeah, of course.
Because
you get ejected.
Yes,
serves you right. Should have been
totally worth it though. Yeah. So Blood Bowl, my season's going great, off to a great start. I played my first. We have 4 divisions in this league. There are 12 players, 4 divisions of. I'm sorry, 3 divisions of 4.
Okay.
So I'm playing my first out of division game
next week.
I guess it would be an interleague game.
Sure.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I'm playing my first out of division game tomorrow. But I talked to Max, who is currently, I think, 2-2 right now. He lost yesterday. I think he's 2-2, 1-1, 1 tie, 1 loss, and 2 wins.
2 wins. Okay.
But he told me the guy I'm playing tomorrow is Snotlings, so they all have strength 1.
Okay.
Right, and my characters are all strength 3. So I think I'm going to break some more face tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds like you have an advantage there.
There's my Blood Bowl update. I'm having fun being a manager of a Blood Bowl team, watching my players grow and learning how to stomp harder on thy enemy.
Well, that works, I guess.
So that's my update. That gets us to the end of the show.
Yep.
It was a quiet night, but that's okay because I still like talking about board games, and we learned something pretty cool when it comes to what to do with your boxes.
Yep.
Patrick talked about how he uses card sleeves from Dragon Shield and then uses those tuck boxes to store the cards from the expansions.
Condense them down into one box, yeah.
And then Wayne called in and talked about how he takes his expansion boxes and turns them into pretty cool posters.
In the process of, yeah.
So check out, rewind back, and you'll see what Wayne talked about. I actually showed images of what he sent me to share. Our second Saturday game day is coming up October 9th.
Yep.
Armada Games.
Downtown in Tampa. Yeah, or kind of downtown. Yeah.
No, it's USF.
It's on the edge.
The university area.
Edge of Tampa. Yeah.
He's from up north in Wesley Chapel. He doesn't know Tampa.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's Tampa.
It's Temple Terrace, actually.
Okay. Is it Temple Terrace? Not Tampa? Oh,
it's Temple Terrace.
They had a Tampa address.
I think they open at noon. So Saturday noon on October 9th. Come and join us for more board games fun. And see us next week for another call-in show every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Check out the podcast that just released this Sunday that talks about all our convention gaming we did.
Yep, lots of stuff there.
Yep, and that'll wrap it up for our show. We want to thank you all for watching. If you're watching live, even better. If you're not, don't worry about it. Catch the replay, comment, share with your friends.
Yep, share and a like.
Yep, share and like. My name's Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm William.
The hand of William. And we are the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Thanks for watching, folks. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.